feel like a lot of people that start podcasts or start Instagram, obviously it can be tough. You know, they're not seeing the results. They want to give up. What would you say to people that aren't really seeing those results and are trying to figure out different ways that they can grow and find an audience? Because it seems like a lot of people that you're working with at Dear Media already have audiences, right? What would you say to someone that might be a professional in a certain niche? They have knowledge, whether that be on Instagram or podcast, and they want to grow, but they just don't really know where to start.
I think using your network, I'm a broken record, but like use your network, get your friends on your podcast, you know, create, like we have so many great outlets to be able to spread a message or spread a word. So like film your podcast, put them on Reels, put them on TikTok, like put in the effort to be able to make those sort of like clippable, shareable moments to grow. I think that's so important. And that is seriously how some podcasts go from 10 listeners to 10,000 overnight, because someone finds them on TikTok or Instagram. Lean into your network, you know, believe in yourself and create a great sort of like one sheet profile for yourself that you can pitch yourself out to people. You might sit there and you might be like, okay, I have 20 listeners. So like, who's going to want to talk to me? It'll take you like maximum 2 hours to just like go out there and be really intentional and say, okay, I see Jackson on LinkedIn. He works at a podcasting company. I've got a great story to tell. I've got a great message. Hey, like I might have even self-published a book. I only have 10 listeners, but here's my story. Here's my pitch. You know, you can create a pitch that you can sort of blanket out and like tailor to everyone. It's very quick, very easy, and send it out. And you never know what bite you're going to get back. Because when I'm sort of like looking at shows that I produce and pitches that come through my email, and then this was the same case in radio, and this is the same case in podcasting, you know, yes, like it's always great to have a big following. But if you have like an incredible story that's been untapped that comes across my desk and it catches my eye, if I can't put you on one of my podcasts, I know plenty of people in radio that are looking for local segments or whatever that I can be like, hey, you need to talk to this guy or girl because look at this story. It's fascinating. I'm not, and this is the radio brain in me as well. I think like maybe in podcasting, people might think about it differently. I don't think so. Of course, you have the shows that will only approach guests that are like famous or big, but you know, your pitch is everything. Like your elevator pitch is everything. Get into those rooms that you want to sort of like be in. Pay to go to networking events or, you know, go press the flesh and just really solidify your elevator pitch. Like have it down to like 30 seconds. Because who knows? You might be in an elevator and this, like you might say, no, it's not going to happen. The people that I've ran into in the strangest places here, like you might end up in an elevator with Kris Jenner or Khloe Kardashian. In LA, it's not that crazy, right? And if I was trying to start a podcast to get some momentum, I'd book a flight to LA and I'd go and hang out in like a celebrity hotspot for a night and just like caress the flesh. Because you know what, if you have your elevator pitch, if you are engaging, like, and you can offer value, people will say yes, you know, and you'll be surprised at like the magnitude of people that will go, yeah, come on my show because that is an amazing story. And you might go, well, I have 200 followers. It doesn't matter. You've got an incredible message, an incredible story, and you're providing value. So I think never undersell yourself. What I said before, feel free to be delusional. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen if you're like completely delusional and you're like, this matters? You're just not going to get a response if someone's going to say no. And then when someone says no, you go, okay, thank you so much. It would be so helpful if you told me why, like what is stopping you? And you can be super polite about that. And that is how you sort of like grow and you learn how to pivot. I think that's one thing in the industry that you've really got to know how to do so well is be able to pivot because things are changing so quickly. And when I say pivot, you don't have to go, okay, I'm going to do something that's not who I am. That's not at all. But you've got to look at trends. You've got to look at who's engaging and why they're engaging and where they're engaging and when they're engaging. And if you're not prepared to pivot, and if you're not prepared to grow and you're not prepared to change within the ideas that you have, then you are already putting a box around yourself, if that sort of makes sense. I always say all the time, I'm very set in my ways and I'm very like, opinionated and I have strong opinions, but I will never place myself in a room and I will never place myself in an arena where I'm not willing to hear someone else out. And if I don't understand or agree, I can go, oh, well, I respect that you have that thought. That's not mine. And I don't have to fight with them. And I'm always willing to have my mind changed as well. Like, I'm not the guy that's like, you can't change my mind, you never will. You know what I mean? I'm often happy to be like, I was wrong about that. I was a bit of a dick about that. And now I'm not like that, you know, and that is personal growth. But yeah, I think just don't box yourself in. Don't undersell yourself and be delusional in a sense that's not offensive. Like, you don't have to be a delusional prick, but you can be like delusional in a way that's like endearing and could get you somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I'm
love
like
that.
an optimist. I'm like a huge optimist. I mean, I could sit here and be like, spend money on advertising and this and that and whatever. And like, of course, there are things you've got to do. And like, I would say invest in like, if you're not good at audio editing or video editing and stuff like that, like invest in that. Or if you don't have the money to invest, reach out to people who are building a portfolio, reach out to universities, education, all that sort of stuff. Because this is the thing, like you might not have money to spend on advertising or like video or like editing, but there are people out there who might need to build up their portfolio that are willing to like meet you in the middle or do like, or work with you. Like you can sort of like springboard off of each other to help each other. Do you know what I mean? I think that that is the beauty of this community. But yeah, not boxing yourself in and not sort of like writing yourself off.